We'll start off with some background information. So, I can call it Shakes, right? You know not Shakes.
Yeah, man.
Alright, so where's Shakes from? Where do you grow?
Well, Portmore I live right now, isn't it? But when I was young, I usually move around the place. So sometimes lived in Kingston, I lived in Spanish Town at that point. But right now I live in Portmore.
Alright, so like what really inspired you to become a producer? Or did you always wanted to become a producer?
No, funny story. I was actually one of them people that were actually never made beats in a song, isn't it? But I actually decided I want to pick up a hobby. So I started writing at first. And then something just said, yo, try to make the beat, and it took us. I was like, how hard can it be to make some beats, isn't it? And then from that, I just start. I'm actually start to like it more than writing and everything.
So you actually wanted to be a singer? A singer first?
It's just a hobby, right? It's just a hobby. Producing for me was just a hobby as well.
Okay. So you had any musical influences in particular with the artists or producers?
As I began to grow and began to look around and everything, I started to rate man like Russian, Metro Boomin, and a lot of the Jamaican producers like Not Nice, DJ Frost and them and them.
So in your opinion, who does more work, the producer or the artist?
Well, I think that everybody is equal in the process of making a song, isn't it? Like, you can have a good artist and a bad producer and a bad engineer and the song becomes bad, isn't it? But you can have a good producer and a bad artist and the song also becomes bad. So I think that everybody should really have a level playing field. However, though, I think that you should try to build a song around the artist, isn't it? Like, I don't think the producer should say, yo, that not come out of the beat or anything there, isn't it?
Okay. So each artist you deal with, you try and build a beat.
Yeah. If you tell me, if a man tell me take out that sound or deal with the beat different,
okay.
You know, I deal with it different.
Alright, so do you find that in Jamaica the producing is kind of only certain man then in a production? So you know you have Not Nice and Jordan and them on there, and you only hear about them on there. Is that an issue in Jamaica?
I wouldn't say an issue, I wouldn't say an issue because, to be honest, not a lot of people are going to actually dive into the music to find out who actually produces the song, isn't it? But I do believe that the producers should get more credit, isn't it? Because overseas producers do get a lot of credit. I think at times, though, I think you also have to blame the producers, because a lot of time I think the producers kind of stay in a shadow and them come out and do certain things and them things there, isn't it?
So overall, do you think producing is like an underrated talent locally?
Yeah, at times, yes, at times.
So explain to us, like, what kind of equipment you need to become like a producer? What you need?
Well, to be honest, I just need a laptop, because when I started, I just had a laptop and obviously earphones and everything there. And I was making good beats, isn't it? Like, painting was just made with my laptop and I love me, isn't it? But over time, you obviously need to upgrade, isn't it? So, you need a keyboard, you need a jump pad, probably some good speakers, some good headphones and everything there.
So, alright, before you spoke about your work with specific artists, but do you have a specific style that you as a producer had?
Yeah. I think, like, I love dancehall, isn't it? And I always try to add a different flair to dancehall. Like, I try not to come with something that everybody heard before, isn't it? I always try to add my style to it.
So what really inspires your beats? Where you get the inspirations from?
It varies, like right now, honestly, I've been listening to a lot of music from the UK. I listen to a lot of UK artists, but sometimes inspiration come from songs from the 1960s, sometimes it come from trap music, sometimes it come from R&B, come from them white people music, it's all kind of different.
And the dancehall music kind of changed. You speak about trap, a whole heap of trap influence. You have to like cultivate your beats to how the dancehall industry is changing. So you find that producing, you have to like change with the times.
I think you have to change, but you also have to stay unique, isn't it? You have to make sure it's your style unique. So you don't really want to change to something that everybody's doing, isn't it? You want to change, but still have your lane and still make everybody know so you're still bad and different, but it's still relevant.
Right. So what kind of artists have you collaborated with so far?
Well, right now, JRXK, Yapix, I actually have a lot of songs coming out with a lot of other artists, but they haven't been released yet, like March B, Gila. Been working with a lot of people, to be honest, like a lot.
In the future, any specific artists, probably ones that already made it, you think you want to collaborate with?
Yeah, some of them unrealistic, to be honest, is me, but Drake, like I really rate Drake a lot, is me. But in terms of dancehall, I really think that Popcorn is on a really high level, is me. Popcorn, Canicla, Massacre, is me, them and
One of the major issues I see with producing in Jamaica is that, not just producing, but with music, yeah, you have different factions. So Not Nice had this whole issue with Popcorn and
Yeah, I think that
Alkaline.
happened.
Do you think that you as a producer would find yourself in a situation where you have to stay loyal to a certain group, or you don't really care about it?
Well, it's not like I do believe that I should stay loyal to the artists, is me. But everybody who I link with, is me, like them have the same mentality as me, so they really don't see the need for a divide in dancehall music, is me. So yes, obviously if somebody this JRXK or Gapix, then mega free them, is me. But there really shouldn't be an unnecessary divide. Whereas a man come up and say, oh, Gaza and so no vendetta.
But if that man this JRXK, you are going to produce him?
Definitely not at this song, is me. Not at this. It depends on how I'm listening to, is me, but definitely not at this song. I wouldn't produce at this song to this any of my artists.
You think that though that's an issue in a Jamaican music, the divide? You think it's like bringing back the music or holding back the music?
Yeah, definitely. Thing is, because a lot of collabs that you'd want, you can't get, is me, just because the silly little divide, is me. So yeah.
Alright, so aspiring producers out there, what can you say to them? That they want to start, but they don't know how. What's your advice?
I think my advice would be like a life lesson, first of all. Like, don't force yourself to do it if you don't like doing it. Because I think especially nowadays, a lot of people just want to do something just because they want to be popular or something. And producing, like, it's very difficult, especially when you're getting started. A lot of things you have to learn. So if you don't like doing it, don't force yourself to do it, really.
And that's what I was just going to ask, like, how difficult is producing? How difficult it is to get recognition from people in the industry?
At first, it's going to be difficult, to be honest. Like, really, at first, because every established artist or artist on the come up already has a producer, isn't it? You can't be an artist without a producer, isn't it? So you just really have to try and find that artist. I think that's number one. Find that artist that you feel just start. You feel them can make it. Them have the mentality to make it and everything.
What's one of the major challenges, though, you as a young producer in the industry face?
Well, to be honest, I don't think I have any challenges right now. Other than like equipment, I think equipment's a challenge for me. But like I don't think I have any industry challenges right now because I really think that I'm rising.
Alright, so you seem to have a big name. You produce a lot of good beats. Which one are your favorites so far?
My favorite beat that has come out in a song was Level Up Beat. That was my favorite beat.
That's with JRXK?
Yeah.
Alright, final question. Well, I just asked that. I guess that's it.
Thanks.
If you want big up Pablo on TV.
If I'm big up Pablo on TV, you know.